Good evening, I'm Mrs. Frost.
My name is Mr. Holdsworth and welcome to the Year 9 Virtual Information Evening 2020.
The aims of this evening are so that you know who to contact should you need to, how we can support your daughter's transition to Key Stage 4, some key events that are going to be cropping up throughout the year, how we in Key Stage 4 monitor progress, support success, develop growth mindset, and finally, just to reiterate those ever important expectations. Before we begin, just to reiterate some of the great things we're doing around school to keep your daughter safe in these COVID times. We have lovely, purpose-dedicated marquees where they can shelter from the elements. We have clean, clutter-free classrooms to learn in. We have an easy-to-follow one-way system, which is well signposted. We even socially distance the toilets. And as you can see from the photograph, our students are very able to hand sanitize wherever possible. Just to reiterate some of our social distancing measures. We like our students to be 2 meters distance away from each other wherever possible, and if that is not possible, 1 meter. We have signs and posters and guides all over the school reiterating this message. Our seating plans act as our track and trace system, and we have a seating plan for every single lesson that goes on in the school. Our one-way system maintains our biosecurity. We like masks to be worn in communal areas to maintain the integrity of our bubble. You can have your lunch inside, and hot lunches are very delicious, however they are socially distanced, but you can eat outside in our communal areas. Emergency evacuation procedures have already been practiced this year. Ask your daughter. We encourage our students to hand sanitize wherever possible, but ideally they should really wash for 20 seconds with soap and water. We also remind them not to touch their face or the outside of their mask, and there is a particular way that you take your mask on and off. They've all been taught this way. We have tissues and disinfectant in every classroom. We like our students to maintain their brains, so they need to make sure they are hydrated, and they wear face coverings wherever possible in communal areas. We all have a personal responsibility with regards to COVID-19. We encourage our students to limit personal contact with others and fist bumping, elbow touching, okay, hugging, not so much. If you or anyone in your house has symptoms, please contact us immediately and inform us of this. Please alert staff if you are unwell during a lesson, students. That is very important. Do not share equipment. Bring your planner and your own equipment to school and keep your mobile phones on but are on silent for track and trace purposes.
To support your daughter while in school, we have the Year 9 and wider extended upper school pastoral team. Form tutors, I'm sure you're all aware, 9C is Mrs. Hanlon, 9O is Mr. Kennedy, 9L is Mrs. Roshan, 9H is Mr. Gosling, and 9E is Miss Aquate. I'm your leader for Year 9, Mr. Holdsworth. We also have our full-time pastoral assistant, Mrs. Jocelyn, and then extended from that, Mrs. Frost as Vice Principal and Mrs. Jackson, Associate Principal and CEO, to support your daughter while she is here with us. Year 9 is the transition year to Key Stage 4. Recently, we have moved to a 3-year Key Stage 4 curriculum, but this gives students an excellent opportunity to make sure they embed all the good practices and habits that are required for GCSE study. It allows the development of effective revision techniques that can be practiced and honed over the 3 years, and helps students understand their learning styles, because this is something that is different for each individual, and it is important to achieve your maximum by understanding exactly how well you as a student work. It allows students to identify the pressure points that will exist and learn how to manage their time effectively with their subjects, as well as all their co- and extracurricular activities that they may be undertaking. And it allows them to understand exactly what is being assessed in each subject and to develop a more comprehensive of how to achieve the highest grades for each of the questions. and in doing so, students will become masters of their subjects. Part of the importance of Year 9 transition is the partnership between school, parents and the student. As aptly demonstrated by this Venn diagram, if all those parts link together, we will ensure that everyone is supported and knows exactly how we're going on our progression towards GCSEs. So this is all communication with the school, communication school to parents, parents to school, and with students as well, to keep everybody informed so everyone knows exactly where everyone is. So thinking about that journey, right now in Year 9, students are at base camp, and if you know anything about Everest, base camp is not right at the base. It is a good way up the mountain already. So you put in a lot of work as students to get this far. However, what is it going to take to reach a summit, to reach where you want to be at the end of Year 11 and those GCSE results? What's got you to base camp might not be what you need to do on the way to the summit. You might have to change tack, you might have to think about what you've done well, evaluate the areas for development and keep on going, because you will get there in the end. I wouldn't be a geography teacher if I didn't bring something in about natural landscapes into this, so stick with me on that. You will have been aware that your daughter has been issued with a target grade for Key Stage 4. These are target grades for the end of Year 11. Okay, they are realistic and aspirational, and they're based on previous data that we hold, whether that's Key Stage 2 SAT results, CAT that are taken in Year 7, and information from the Fisher Family Trust, which is an external agency that works on looking at all students across the whole country. We use additional department baseline assessments as well as internal assessments to come up with that target grade and figure out where you're going to be aspirationally, but also realistically at the end of Year 11. So the progress checks that are released throughout the year, they take in a lot of different forms of assessment, whether that's summative assessments in the form of tests, GCSE exam style questions, whether it's just teacher questioning during the lesson. It's also an assessment of work done in class, homework, independent work, and also the really important formative feedback that is given to students, whether it's verbal feedback or whether it's written feedback in the books or on the assessment, or whether it's electronically via Teams or Seneca or other learning platforms. It's then seeing how the students act on that feedback. And this is where the purple pen comes in. It is very, very good to see students taking on feedback. It's a clear way of seeing that progress happens. And that will all come into looking at the attitude to learning, ATL, on the progress checks, which will be rated between requires improvement and outstanding. Okay, so all of these different aspects feed into that overall attitude to learning. The working at grade that is released as well on the progress checks looks at how your daughter is likely to achieve at GCSE, so the end of Year 11, based on how she is working now. So if she's to continue with that attitude to learning, continue with what we're seeing in classwork, homework, producing the same sort of assessment results, moving that forward and looking to where she would be at Year 11, all things remaining the same. So it's about thinking about the end of Year 11 as the working at grade, not what they are achieving now. I think Year 9 is an important year for all students in the school and beyond. It can be a little bit daunting, and that's why we're here to support as the pastoral team. It is the first step towards that external examination, and it's based on a set curriculum. Year 9 can help you form the platform, the foundations for moving into Year 10 and beyond on your journey to success. Steps towards GCSE and meeting those challenges of Key Stage 4 can start right now. Thinking about those little things that you can change, you can do, they're going to mean that you make the best start in moving towards where you want to be at the end of Year 11 and then beyond. You may hear mention of the Year 9 matrix throughout the year and also in the Year 9 information booklet. Essentially, this means that students will be studying subjects that they have dropped. They're not leaving anything behind, and they will still get a nice broad and balanced and enriching curriculum experience throughout the whole of Year 9. Co-curricular days that are held throughout the year look at allowing students an opportunity to move away from their normal taught subjects in the timetable and have breakout days looking at different things. Like if a student is studying history, they will get a chance to look at some geography topics, and vice versa. We also have creative arts days, healthy living days, computing days, and environmental science days to look forward to. This allows students to pick up things that they were doing in Year 8 and also consolidate learning from their subjects in Year 9. It's a great way of getting to have a broad and balanced curriculum, and really does help develop some of the skills that are listed above, especially problem solving and achieving some of those harder evaluative and analytical skills that are needed to achieve the highest levels. Some key dates for your diaries from the Year 9 Essential Information booklet. Looking at that progress towards the target grade for the end of Year 11. We've got 2 progress checks this year, the first of which will come out on the 23rd of November and the second on the 15th of March. These will include, as I mentioned before, the Attitude to Learning grade as well as the Working Out grade, which, just to reiterate, shows where the student will be at the end of Year 11 based on if they continue to work as they are doing now. Parent consultation evening this academic year, is planned for the 10th of February, and examination week this year has been brought forward based on student feedback to the week before half term, the 24th to the 28th of May. Exam results will come out on the 28th of June, and these are a really good indication of how students are understanding GCSE examination style questions. All examinations in the week of the 24th to the 28th of May will include GCSE questions where they're available, and this will help students understand what is required of them and understand the use of command words in different subjects. So, like, what is the difference between outline and describe, and how to look at evaluation instead of explanation. On the 15th of July, Year 9 reports will be issued, giving you an overview of performance across all subjects at the end of Year 9, ready to move on to Year 10.
So students, how can you help yourself? Well, you could get plenty of sleep. Medical research shows that the teenage brain needs at least 8 to 10 hours sleep per night. Nutrition, make sure you're eating a very balanced and healthy diet. And exercise and non-academic activities are absolutely key in keeping that work-life balance alive. We are very proud of the support that we give students with regard to their well-being. Mr. Holdsworth, Mrs. Jocelyn, or myself, including your form tutor, we're all here to listen. There are regular school nurse drop-ins which can be pre-booked. We have student well-being ambassadors representing you and your needs, or you can speak to outside agencies like EWMHS, COOF and MindEd. We understand that some people lost connection with their learning during lockdown. If you need any help with that, if you need help with reconnecting to a certain subject or just learning in general, please let us know. Talk to your pastoral team. We're here to help. So parents, what can you do to support your child? Well, make sure that you show some understanding. They are going to feel a little bit apprehensive as they start their Key Stage 4 courses. Please recognise and encourage their efforts on their journey, but also monitor what they're doing. Sometimes they can take an awful long time to do homework. If that is the case, we'd like to know about it. Please communicate with us and encourage that work-life balance. Keep that hobby, bake that cake at weekends. Help them with their planning, whether it be time planning or revision planning. And if you need any help or advice on revision resources, we're here to help. And please, please, please encourage that reading for pleasure. The more you read, the more you're able to tackle your GCSE questions. This is where I become instantly unpopular, as I've got a message about social media and the internet that I would like the students and parents of Year 9 to hear. The Child Protection Company has a shocking statistic that 1 in 5 teens regularly wake up to check social media during the night. As a member of the Pastoral team, we see this all the time. Messages coming in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning from friends just talking, just sharing their ideas. That cannot be. If you believe your child might be waking regularly to check their media during the night, here are some helpful tips to share with them to try to break that habit. How about adjusting the light settings on phones to reduce the amount of blue light shining through? How about changing their bedtime routine, making sure that they read that book before bed or just take a nice relaxing bath? But please don't be tempted to check your phone again, students, after performing your new hobby. Just go straight to bed. You need to rest that teenage brain. Put your phone in a location where it cannot be seen or heard. This might be horrifying to you, but actually, taking that time out from your phone is a very healthy, regular thing to do. Try to take a break if you are finding that you are checking your device unprompted. Take that temptation out of the way. And if your phone alerts you, say, "Okay, phone, I'm going to check you in a minute." How about being really radical and taking a digital detox, turning that phone off altogether, or just putting it in your parents' bedroom in a box where it can't be seen or heard? And make sure your phone is silenced before bed. Notifications need to be off, and do not disturb mode needs to be activated. The University of Cambridge has undertaken some studies with regard to screen time and student attainment. They found that on average, 14-year-olds said they spent about 4 hours of their leisure time each day either watching television or in front of a computer or mobile phone. What the research also found is that an additional hour of screen time each day, i.e. 5 hours, was associated with 9.3 fewer GCSE points at Year 11. That is the equivalent of dropping a grade in 2 subjects. If you waste 6 hours every day on screens, then it is associated with 18 fewer points or dropping a grade in 4 subjects. However, it's not all negative. Pupils who put just 1 hour extra of homework or spent their time reading at night did better in their GCSEs, scoring 23 more points than on average. Parents, you have the power. You have the power to cap screen time. Most devices allow you to set screen time limits, and so, for example, social networking can be cut down to as little as 30 minutes per day. You can even set a screen time passcode to enable you to do so. Just a polite reminder that at CCHSG, we have courtesy and kindness at the heart of everything we do. There is an overriding expectation that everyone is treated with respect. Everyone is courteous, kind, and considerate to others. Bullying is very rare at CCHSG, and it is not tolerated in any way, shape, or form. We give regular e-safety messages to our students, including the dangers of social media, and these are continually promoted through PSHCE and assemblies. We also advocate personal safety, both in person and on the internet. And parents, if you have any worries with regard to your daughter and the internet, please involve external agencies like CEOP or the local police. Remember, out of school, you are responsible for your daughter's behaviour and safety online.
Okay, so Year 9 may seem overwhelming, but there's a lot of support available within school. The homework timetable is there so you can manage your time as well as looking at what's to be expected. Homework in Year 9 should be around about 45 to 50 minutes, and although students will want to spend longer doing it, this is what is recommended. And please ensure that if you are struggling with that, let parents know. If you see your daughter spending too much time doing homework, remember that is 45 to 50 minutes per subject. If it is taking longer, simply sign the work or make a note on the online submission that your daughter has spent 45 to 50 minutes on the work, sign it and date it, and then subject staff can pick it up from there. Subject staff are the best people to contact if you have a subject-based query. They are best placed to answer it, and the pastoral team are here for other wellbeing issues and concerns. Our doors are always open. Do please come and see us. Later on, we'll look at assigning senior staff mentors for those who need tailored one-to-one support. This may be form tutor, or it may be a member of the senior leadership team as well, to provide that extra guidance on the route to the GCSE target. Subjects will all run revision sessions, and we also have support in the PSHCE programme looking at managing time, taking ownership for your own planning, as well as making little changes that can add up to significant improvements overall. Wellbeing activities will be run throughout the year wherever possible, and we also signpost towards external agencies to provide that additional support where it is needed on a one-to-one basis. The PSHCE programme for Year 9 has gone under a serious overhaul this year, and outlined here is just a very quick summary of things that will be covered. Students have already taken part in the virtual MADE study skills workshop to equip them with little ideas on how to get the most out of their taught lessons and independent study. Taking control, developing self-management, understanding what is within your control and outside of control to help you figure out what you can do as a student to make the most of this GCSE course. The mental health and well-being has been revised and brought forward, especially following lockdown, and this has been in line with government guidance, as well as we've engaged an external agency to help make sure what we're delivering is appropriate for students in Year 9. The usual things of risk, understanding smoking and drugs and the law, as well as looking about mass media and developing skills in that, communication and listening as well. We look at e-safety, and we start to encourage students to think about their finance, budgeting, business, understanding financial organisations, and that is a really key milestone in Year 9 PSHCE programme. We look at British values, understanding human rights, citizenship and diversity, all what goes on to helping students live in the wider world. Very topical look at environment. This will be covered as well within the breakout days, as mentioned previously, part of that matrix. And we will cover statutory requirements on sex and healthy relationships. We also, where possible, will bring in first aid training for the students. One of the least appreciated aspects of study is the importance of reading. And this is not just reading to learn, this is reading for enjoyment. And a lot of examinations have emphasis on comprehension. Not just comprehending a piece of text, but they can be looking at different sources and also comprehending what the question is actually requiring you to do. So reading at home should be part of your life, whether it's fiction or non-fiction. It will really, really help develop that further understanding and use of the English language. The old adage really is true. The more students read, the better they achieve. In school, we do stick to the drop everything and read day every Thursday, where students are required to bring in their own reading material, not use it as an opportunity to do homework, as a lot like to do, but to actually engage with written text. It is really important, and if we could have your support with this at home, it would be very much appreciated. The more I think about it, the further I feel away from my time doing GCSEs, and looking back on it, it does seem like, oh well, that was really quite an easy time. It isn't. Exams are designed to test, and we look at supporting your daughter in school, and we really, really appreciate your support at home. encouraging good attendance, support with organisation. Managing 10 subjects is difficult. Managing that on top of extracurricular activities, sports and hobbies, which I absolutely encourage everybody to be doing, and not to give them up just to focus on school subjects, is so critical. The sooner you can become more organised, the better, really. And as I mentioned before, that dialogue with school is absolutely critical. We will call home with praise, we'll call home when there's an issue, but please do contact us. And if you're unsure who to contact, just contact the main school office through the school's communication hub, and your query will be directed to whoever can manage it the best. Form tutors are always a good place to start, and head of subject or subject teacher for subject related issues to get the quickest response. Contact them directly. Monitor the homework. Again, you don't want your daughter spending too much time doing subjects. Exam boards are not looking for perfection. They are looking for the best answer a 16-year-old can give. They're not looking for perfect answers. We are not looking for perfect homework. Okay, so if that time is creeping up from 45 minutes, keep an eye on it and remind them of how long it should be taking. Good study habits and regular revision, keep going with those. Top tips, GCSE bite-sized website, there's loads of online resources if you are stuck, and contact school. If you are struggling to provide that support, we can give you a point in the right direction. There's loads of revision resources out there. Again, subject departments will be able to tell you what is best for their exam board. And I did mention this earlier, the work-life balance is absolutely crucial. Yes, these students that we're all talking about will achieve brilliant results. They will do really, really well. But it's very important to remember that they are still children. They should enjoy their life. They should be doing things that they find fun. They should have time to relax, whether that is watching a series on Netflix, or whether it is playing competitive sport, or whether it's just juggling in the back garden. Something to unwind is absolutely critical. In moderation, obviously. And that brings us on to the importance of appropriate use of social media. Attendance-wise at school, some of these figures just put it into a bit of stark reality. Yes, at the moment, it is a little bit different in these COVID times, and we are supporting through our virtual school, uploading information, lessons onto SharePoint, having classes set via Teams, homework is online for a lot of the subjects, to support with those people who have to self-isolate. Obviously being in school is best, but we totally appreciate that you may not be able to attend while following government guidance. But to put it into perspective, attendance in our school, we target 98%, and that's 4 days over the whole year of absence. 91% equates to 17 days of absence across the whole school year, which is 85 contact hours with teachers lost. And it is very important to have those contact time maximised so you can get the most out of your GCSE study. Dropping down to 80% attendance, that's 38 days of absence and 190 hours of learning lost. At 85%, we would consider it critical, and there will have been letters and communication home. Obviously, people can't help being ill. Please contact the school, keep us aware every day of things that are going on, and we can help manage and support during times of absence. But please, do try and come in wherever possible, because you cannot replace that time lost with teachers. Punctuality also links in with that. Just 5 minutes lost each day equates to 3 days over a whole school year. So it does add up. This isn't just late to registration, which is a very important part of the day, allows that bonding during form time, important messages are given, but also late to lessons. Very important to make sure you're on time to lessons, attending for that full hour. it's critical to make sure you're maximising your time here. Punctuality is very, very important, and generally speaking, we have very good punctuality at this school. We do take quite a harsh line in terms of sanctions. 2 late that are avoidable within a week, the 15-minute detention. 3 or more in a half term will result in a 30-minute detention. So please make sure you're in on time and maximise your time in school.
Just a polite reminder regarding our uniform expectations at CCHSG. Jewellery-wise, we allow 1 pair of plain studs in the lower lobe, not the top part of the ear, for health and safety reasons. Eye watches or electronic devices are not permitted. This is because they are not permitted in the examination hall, so therefore we like our students to be used to a traditional watch. No other jewellery is allowed, and this includes religious icons. We also have limited makeup. No thank you to Angry Bird eyebrows that are drawn on. No false eyelashes, false nails or nail varnish of any kind. Extreme hair colours or colours that include things like balayage are not permitted. And please, no henna patterns on hands or nails. So just a few examples of what I mean. You can see here the 2-tone hair of a balayage. You can also see shaved underhair. This would be viewed as an extreme hairstyle. And you can see here some glitzy glam earrings which would not be deemed as plain studs. We also have great controversy over ankle socks. Let's be clear, an ankle sock is a sock that clearly covers the ankle. No thank you to trainer socks, and no thank you to socks that have lace around the ankle.
To reiterate the importance of communication, the school will communicate home through the weekly bulletin that gives you an idea of what is coming up, from letters being sent home to what's on the menu for school dinners. We have the school communications letters. They'll be sent out as and when through our online platform. We have the e-newsletter, and we have Twitter and Facebook accounts if you are social media savvy. In red here, your form tutor can help with support regarding personal welfare, attendance, any changes in circumstances, no matter how slight these may be, whether it's different addresses, however if that's permanent or temporary, changes in phone number and contacts, please do let us know so we can keep in touch with you. And matters of illness as well as self-isolation. Heads of subject and subject teachers, they're important for work-related queries. These people should be your first port of call. Pastoral team, we are here all day, every day for a whole variety of wellbeing concerns. And for anything exam related or external qualifications related, our exams officer is also available. So year 9, as we mentioned, is that stepping stone to success. There's a lot of things that go into it, and we all have our goals, whether they're the end of the year, whether they're the end of year 11. And on the route to those, your motivation may change on the way, and that's why we're here to support. But your focus on that goal, the vision and the effort that you put in will get you there, along with some positive thinking, a bit of persistence, and after all, a bit of self-esteem. So believe in yourselves as students, believe in yourselves as parents, and we will all get to where we need to be at the end of year 11. At this point, I usually wish you a safe onward journey, and I'll do that. So a safe onward journey from your computer to your kettle as you make your brew to settle down and watch some evening TV. So thank you all very much for listening to our virtual information evening. Stay safe, and if you do have any questions or queries, please do contact the school. Thank you very much.